Welcome to Haken, an Animal Crossing podcast, your podcast dedicated to all things Animal Crossing. Episode 133 is brought to you by Stephanie Clayton, one of our newest Patreon patrons. This week, Nina, Sergio, and I are excited to reveal the new Haken artwork for the month of June. Today, we'll be discussing the start of June in New Horizons and do a small review of the New Horizons Guide. So to begin, hello, Nina, how are you?
I'm good, how are you?
I'm doing well. So I'm still, I totally forgot I've got this camera going, and it's going to be, a little work in progress as we go, but let me see, did you walk in already?
Oh, no, I forgot. Here I am.
There you are.
Oh, no, wait, I got over in front of the desk there.
And then, hi, Sergio, how are you?
Hi, Chewy, I'm doing good. It's a good Animal Cross Sunday.
Okay, I'm getting some words that nobody can hear you.
Uh-oh.
It's because I forgot to turn on your desktop audio, but you should be good now. All right. Hi, Nina. How are you doing?
I'm good. I'm happy to be here.
Awesome. And then hi, Sergio. How are you?
Doing great also. It's been a good day and Animal Crossing makes every day better.
Awesome. Well, I'm excited to have you both on the show once again and in front of our live studio audience here on YouTube. And then we've got this nice little set here. If you're watching on YouTube, you're going to be seeing all of these things. I actually don't know how I'm going to edit this when it all comes together, but there will be an audio version that comes out as normal for Tuesday. But yeah, I guess for now, let's get into the show. I have some reminders for all of you. This is a question I get kind of often, but pretty much I want you all to know that Haken is available on all major podcasting platforms. You can check it out on Anchor, Spotify, iTunes, Google Play, Stitcher, and many more. Just follow the link in our description and you can see the Anchor page where you can see pretty much all of the podcast platforms that are available. So you can check it out there. One thing I totally forgot to get ready was the new Haken artwork for all of you. So tune in to the show on Tuesday so you can see it. Maybe by the end, I'll be able to show it all to you. But we've got this new artwork by Leah J., who is a member of our Haken community, and she's been, hanging out for a long time and supporting the show for a long time. But basically, she made this new artwork, and I'll try to get it up while you, Nina and Sergio, start talking about it a little bit. But yeah, what do you think of the artwork, Nina? I know you reached out to Leah personally for it.
Yeah, I'm so excited about it. Her work is so crisp. I love that it doesn't have outlines and stuff. So it was really nice and bright for June, and it's so summery. So it's getting me ready for tomorrow. I'm excited.
Yeah.
Yeah. What did you think, Sergio?
It looks very nice, very, very colorful. Everything pops up. It kind of reminds me of Paper Mario. It looks crafty in a way. Very nice.
Yeah, and I'm actually going to try to switch over here and get it uploaded for you all. But yeah, this piece, when I talked to Leah, like I said, actually, Nina, I wanted to know what was your experience reaching out to Leah and kind of getting this whole thing started?
Yeah, well, you had sent me to her Instagram, so I was looking through a lot of her work and got inspired just kind of seeing what she's done. She's also done some really cool artwork that reminds me of the Pocket Camp artwork where it's just faces and things like that. So when I reached out to her, I was talking about her style and how we were kind of going for something summery. And she was just so excited and such a joy to talk with. So it was really nice to get her on board, and I love that she's part of the Haken community too, which is always a nice thing, so that we can, give back to each other and lift each other up.
Yeah, that's one thing that was really exciting. Just that she was so excited to work on this piece with us, and unfortunately, hopefully you all can see it now. But the piece, it's coming off, the colors are a little bit off here. I don't know why I'm having this issue with it. It'll look a lot more normal if you listen to the full podcast, I guess, tomorrow? No, Tuesday. I forget what day it is. But yeah, she actually gave us this statement, and she said, "First off, I just want to thank Chewy, Sergio, and Nina. I've been such a big fan of this podcast, so I can't believe I have the chance to create artwork for Haken. I'm just so impressed with what other artists have been been creating in the past, and I feel so lucky to be a part of it. I also want to say thank you to the Haken community on Discord. I've shared some Animal Crossing fan art on there in the past and have really appreciated the kind words I received there. Since June is the beginning of summer, I wanted to pick something that had a really summery vibe. I also knew I wanted to do a piece that highlighted placing furniture outside, since it's one of the new features of New Horizons. I've absolutely loved adding little themed areas around my island, so for the June artwork, I created a little oceanside carnival. The villagers featured in this piece are Pudge, Peanut, Sid, Broccolo, and Scoot. Timmy and Tommy are also there enjoying themselves and may or may not be hustling people at the spinning wheel game. All the carnival furniture is so adorable, and I had so much fun working on this. My next goal is to recreate this on my own island. So yeah, this is a really lovely piece. I'm very excited about showing it all to you. She actually gave me like a big list of characters that she thought would be great for the piece, and I was like, oh yeah, I really like Pudge in this, and I really like that she put him on the teacup ride because I think his expression is
so
really
funny.
great for that. Yeah, and honestly, like that's just Pudge's face. That's how he looks. So the character, yeah, he was just perfect to be a little bit nauseated on a teacup ride.
He's got resting dizzy face.
Yeah, exactly. He's got resting dizzy face, which is pretty fun. But yeah, I love the piece. It's one of my favorites so far. I'm really excited for everybody to really get to enjoy it and everything. So it'll be here throughout the entire month of June. So you'll be able to enjoy it here. It'll also, be the icon that you click on your podcast platforms and that sort of thing. But before we move on, I do want to send you all to Leah's Instagram page. So it's in the description, so you'll be able to find it there. But Instagram at Leah J Illustration. You can follow her artwork there. She's really improved so much. I really love Instagram artists who have been around for a while because you can see kind of like where they were when they started and where they are now. So it's really fun to see how people develop their skills, And I'm sure that's fun for you too, Nina, right?
Oh yeah. That's again, I know I've talked about this before, but that's how you get better at art is you just keep practicing. I think a lot of people think that it's like natural born talent, but it takes a lot of practice. So it's always exciting to see that for me.
Yeah, and I'll tell you, like, the natural born talent will only get you so far. Like, if you're not honing those skills, they're not going to develop any further. Yeah. So, yeah, once again, I love this piece. Thank you, Leah, so much for working with us on this, especially because it was on such a tight timeline. You did amazing work for how little time we gave you to work on it. So, yeah, it's pretty exciting to see this all come together. So I'll go ahead and swap over back here, but let's start talking about the June updates. Nina, I think you probably filled in a lot of this info, right? So you have kind of like some good insight on what's going to be changing in June and everything.
Yeah. I just love to kind of check out what's going to be happening before we switch a month and especially before we switch a season, which is so exciting. So, to give you guys a little heads up for what's happening tomorrow, June 1st. And be sure to pay rent. That's always what I have to do on the 1st of the month.
Yeah, I just paid mine yesterday.
We've got the seasonal crafting material switching over. So today's the last day to harvest the young bamboo. And it's switching to the blue seashells, which are going to be called summer shells. And they look like the conchs that are out on the beach, but they're blue. So they're going to be the new summer seasonal material, which is exciting.
That's pretty awesome. So I'm really glad you gave this warning because I think you need the young spring bamboo for the fallen leaf piles, I believe.
Yes.
And I don't know how many of those I'm going to use, but I imagine it'll be a lot. So I'm probably going to just spend my time looking for a bamboo island after this to keep collecting them because I do have a bit of a stockpile right now of them, but I know I'm probably going to need more. just judging by how I like to decorate things,
Yeah.
it's going to happen.
I wonder if there's going to be some sort of summer leaf pile. I know there's an autumn one, so it'll be
Oh.
interesting to see. Maybe it's like a sand pile or something. I don't know. I can't wait to find out.
Yeah, that'll be really cool. Especially,
Mhm.
I just love seeing all the new seasonal things. I
Yeah.
went to an island just yesterday that was, I think they time traveled to November or so, but they had the most beautiful fall theme going on, and I was just jealous. I'm so jealous.
Cool.
But yeah, the summer stuff sounds fun. Like, I don't have any idea what these blue seashells are going to be used to make, but I know I want to make them already.
Yeah, and I think it's best to keep that kind of a mystery to people so we don't give too much away.
Yeah, it's always fun to just discover it for sure.
Mm-hmm. But those come, I'm trying to remember, the bamboo DIYs came mostly like from balloons, right? Or did they also come from the bottles washed up on shore?
Oh yeah. I would say a good mix of those two.
Okay.
Yeah, I'd say the majority of those came through like that, but I actually did get a bunch of them that were that were given to me by villagers who were crafting.
Okay.
Oh.
So I think you could pretty much get them any way that was possible, but yeah, I think the majority definitely came from balloons and, beach recipes.
Mm-hmm. So you have to just
Do you-
keep your eye out for new ones, I guess.
Yeah, and do you both happen to know if you got all of like the bamboo items or not?
I haven't looked yet. I'm not sure.
I guess based on the number of repeats that I've gotten, I'm really hopeful that I did.
Yeah, that's true. That's a good way to think of it. I don't know
Yeah.
how many of those noodle slides I got.
Yeah.
Oh, so many. At first I was like really looking for that one, and then Isabel finally gave it to me, and now I just have so many that I don't need them all.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I guess what else is new that's coming up in June?
So, because it's also not just a new summer, we've got the new bugs and fish coming in, which are so exciting. We do have a few things leaving us, not too many. So, if you haven't caught the mole cricket yet, which is the underground bug, the golden trout, the loach, or the oarfish. Oarfish is the really big, like, snake eel looking guy from the ocean, and then the golden trout and the loach are river fish, which I'm pretty sure the golden trout is only on the second and third tiers. So grab those if you haven't already. They're kind of hard to catch.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
I know I haven't caught all of the fish nor the bugs that are new in essentially this past month, the May bugs and fish. I'm missing one from each of them.
oh,
And they are the scorpion and the giant trevally. So I
yeah,
need them to pop up at some point. But
yeah.
I don't know, I can't control them, so they're just gonna happen when they happen,
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, and then we've also got a ton of new fish coming in, which is exciting, and a few new bugs that are going to be fun too, like the firefly. I'm so excited for the fireflies to return. They're one of my
Oh.
favorites.
Yes. They are
Mhm.
they so I feel like they were only in the month of June in New Leaf. And so like you didn't get to enjoy them for too long, and that always kind of bugged me out. Or maybe it was just like 1 week. There was one bug or fish that just did not last long enough, and it really bummed me out cuz like the fireflies are very special. Like seeing them floating through the sky at the
Yeah.
night. I'm going to be playing during the night a lot this summer, I know it.
Yeah, they're I think they are just June. I can double check. And another one I feel like is the salmon doesn't last long if they're in September if we get those back.
All right. Right.
I'm pretty
Right.
sure. But yeah,
Yeah.
the fireflies are just 1 month. Let's see.
Yeah.
Mm,
And I did want to mention too, I don't know how many of you are playing like me, but I've been doing the thing where I catch 3 of everything. So I essentially have a big stockpile of bugs and fish and things in my closet. But just looking at the list of ones that are leaving, I know for a fact I do not have 3 golden trout. I already had 3 oarfish, so I've traded those in for the models. And I don't have 3 mole crickets. The loaches I'm good on, but the mole crickets I kind of ignored after a while. And so now I'm just like, oh, I gotta dig for those and find them too. But the golden trout, I'm gonna give up on that one. I don't think I'm gonna be able to catch 3 of those tonight.
They're tricky.
Yeah, and we talked about this last week, but they just dropped the rates too much that I just don't think it's going to be possible to get them. Yeah.
Well, do you want me to list all the bugs and fish? There's a bunch of them. I'm not sure if it's worth it or not.
Yeah, no, go for it. I want to know what's going to be new, what we're going to be looking for.
So, new bugs. We've got a drone beetle, which I don't think we've ever had before. The emperor butterfly is returning. The firefly, which I double checked, is only June. The Goliath beetle, which is one of the big palm bugs. I'm excited. The mosquito is back to torture us, and the rainbow stag is coming. So
that's
those are
awesome.
The new bugs. Yeah, which is a pretty big group, but I think we get even more in July.
Yeah, what I'm excited about with this group of bugs is that they're going to be a lot that in the past kind of spawned on the palm trees. So like the Goliath beetle and rainbow stag were specifically like, not pine trees, sorry, palm trees. Did I say palm?
I think you said palm.
Oh, okay. They sound so similar. But anyways, yeah, like the palm trees, I once saw one of the giant atlas moths on a palm tree, and I was like, that looks like a really cool new bug that I didn't know spawned on palm trees. And then I never saw it on a palm tree again. And so I'm just kind of missing those. I'm sure you both had these, but those late nights going to the island on New Leaf and just catching tons of bugs so you can fill your pockets with money to build those public works projects. But I'm excited to see how they'll pop up because like I mentioned, the rates have been a little bit low, and so it's kind of like hard to see a lot of these things. Like I said, I've seen now, I want to say 3 scorpions, and every single one of them has run into like a river, the ocean. They just don't want me to catch them. And I'm sad about that.
Yeah. I definitely spent a ton of time. That was like my main source of money in New Leaf was going to the island and catching those big bugs.
Yeah, that's a good source of money. It's pretty awesome to do it that way. So I think you had a list of fish as well, right?
Yes, I do. Hold on, I'm working on my tabs. Okay, so new fish. Got a lot of new fish that I'm excited for, and a lot of them are really big river fish. So the arapaima, which I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing all of these right, but I'll try. The arowana, the dorado, which is a cool golden looking one.
Yes.
The gar, the giant snakehead. Those are all huge river fish. The great white shark is coming, which is going to be so much fun. The hammerhead shark. The piranha, which will be really awesome. A ribbon eel, which I'm pretty sure has a different shadow, so that'll be a fun addition to look for.
Oh.
Yeah.
The saddled birch ear or beach ear, not sure about that one.
I'm not sure.
Suckerfish, that one's brand new. I don't think we've ever had a suckerfish before. Oh, and a tilapia is brand new also. And then the last big one is the whale shark.
That is so. I know for a fact that Jackie's really excited about this because since like the moment she saw I showed her just a quick little glimpse of somebody catching a shark. I think they were in the southern hemisphere, obviously, because, we didn't have sharks quite yet. But she saw this giant shark jump into somebody's arms and she was like, I can't wait to catch a shark. So she's been really looking forward to the sharks arriving in the game for sure.
Yeah, they're so enormous. They're kind of creepy.
Yeah. Sergio, I remember a friend contacted us to do some kind of like southern hemisphere fishing. Have you caught like any of these that have been mentioned?
I don't think I caught any of these. I caught a few that were, out of season for me, but I don't think it was any of these.
Okay. Yeah, so you'll have a good clump of like new things to catch then. And then I also, how'd you do on like the last month of catching things?
I honestly I feel like I missed a lot. Definitely, the ones we mentioned, like the golden trout, the ones that are new in May. I don't think I have them yet, but my style. I'll wait next year or the year after that. That's fine. Right
Hmm.
now, I'm catching whatever I catch, and then starting next year is when I'm actually gonna be looking at the list.
Yeah, that makes sense because I mean, there's a lot of stuff to really catch, and there's a lot of game ahead of us. We're going to be playing for years and years, so you don't necessarily have to catch everything the month that it's available. You can always return to the game and have a good time with it. So,
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
yeah, leaving stuff for you to go back to next year is, it's pretty beneficial. You feel like there's a little bit more to look forward to if you missed anything.
Right, exactly.
Yeah. Cool. So yeah, a new month is always very exciting for players because I know plenty of friends who just go crazy on that first day, catch as much as possible, and then are just kind of waiting the next 20 some days to see the rest of the fish in the next month. But yeah, overall, it's going to be exciting to have just some new stuff going on, and then just so you all know, we are recording Sunday on May 31st. So this is the final day in May. And tomorrow will be June 1st, which marks wedding season. And for those of you listening live right now, you can tune into the episode on Tuesday. We'll have a little bonus segment recorded separately that will discuss the wedding season. So be sure to check in then. It'll probably happen around this little spot in the podcast, but we'll
Yeah.
swap over to that then. We are coming to you from the future, which is also your past, as Nina pointed out just before we started recording here. But as promised, we're splicing this part in, a little bonus for everybody listening to the full episode. We're going to talk about the wedding season in New Horizons now, because it just started. It's Monday for us right now, and we all got to play through it and get the experience. But I wanted to ask both you, Nina and Sergio, how you felt about it. So, Sergio, I guess, what was your experience doing this whole event?
Well, overall, I would say I liked it a lot. I don't want to spoil too much, but yes, you get to see Reese and Cyrus, and you hear some of their music in
Oh.
a very nice, like different style for their music, and oh man, that brought back a lot of memories. The event itself, you get to decorate the wedding salon where they're celebrating their anniversary, and then you take a photograph. We'll get into the more specifics, but overall, yeah, I really like the event. I'm glad that it's basically a month-long event, so let's see tomorrow if the theme changes, but I mean, I'm hoping it does.
Yeah, and I guess, what time did you actually get to play through it?
I was there around 5:30. Pretty early.
Okay.
A
Real
sunrise
early.
wedding.
Yeah.
That's awesome. And then, Nina, how was your experience with it?
It was good. I kind of started the day off with chores and a lot of fishing, and then kind of midday realized I should probably get over to Harvey's Island. I was kind of putting it off because I didn't have high expectations. I don't know how many wedding items I can fit into my pirate town, so I wasn't looking forward to it. I mean, it was, but I wasn't, like I said, I wasn't expecting much, and it blew me away. The Like Sergio said, the music that they play when you first meet with Reese and Cyrus is so nostalgic, and they've changed their theme just a little bit. I nearly cried. It was so good. And I like that it's kind of a slow roll. It seems like we're going to be unlocking things as we go, which I love.
Yeah, yeah. That's one thing I noticed too. I went kind of just after work. I finished up work for the day, and then I was like, oh, I've got to go and play this thing so we can record this section of the podcast. But I went over, and yeah, I thought it was pretty charming. It reminded me a lot of I forget what the name for it was in Pocket Camp, but they kind of added the happy home designer thing
Oh
into
yeah.
Pocket Camp. And
Hmm.
that one has a bunch of different challenges, but they aren't really challenging. It's more like, if you've crafted everything, you're probably going
Mhm.
to complete this really
Oh, yeah,
easily.
yeah.
Um, But yeah, it gave me those vibes, but also like the happy home designer vibes too, where you just had so much more control in a strange way, where it just felt like, oh, this is like a set. And I'm probably getting this vibe because I actually don't play on Harv's Island too much. I've been there twice.
Yeah.
And the two times I'd been there prior were essentially I just went there to go there. And then the next time I went, I just kind of like scanned in an amiibo to try it out. And I actually had to like talk to Harv because I was like, how do I do this? Like how do I get amiibo in here? Because I didn't know. But yeah, this time was the first time really going in and playing with it. And it took me a bit to learn the controls. You know, it felt different for some reason, but pretty similar to what we're used to. Like if you go into your house and decorate and everything. But yeah, I did really appreciate that, like, once you pick an item, like it just throws it out there and it doesn't like disappear from your inventory or anything. It doesn't take up any of the items that you have, you know, you can just like throw things. It's literally a sandbox that lets you do pretty much whatever you want with the room with no like punishment for it, you know?
Yeah, it definitely feels more of like a game, like almost a mini game in that way.
Yeah, definitely. So yeah, I guess we can get a little bit more specific here, since I'm sure people might, you know, at least try it out by now. I know it's only been like a day or two for some people. But yeah, I mean, there's some new wedding stuff. I guess we were challenged to use a lot of it, and this was all stuff that Cyrus actually crafted himself, which is also really fun because I'm just like, man, I remember when Cyrus was our only way to like craft or customize something at all, you know?
Yeah, and it would take 30 minutes.
Yeah, it was not instant. For a lot of people who are sitting there thinking, oh man, I just really wish I could craft or customize all of these things at once. It was a lot worse in the past. But yeah, like I like the little challenge that it gave me, and just like it was fun to like move them around and have some control over the scene and everything. And yeah, I enjoyed it.
So how much did you guys play with the set? Because I used what Cyrus gave me, but then I also started pulling in like candles and some statues, and I brought in like the lily player and stuff like that. I had fun with it.
Yeah, I used every item that, you know, Cyrus had available, and then I did the same. I just like went into my personal closet and pulled out whatever I had, and it also felt like it wasn't just like what I had, it was pretty much my catalog, you know, like everything I'd collected, regardless of if it was in my closet or not. But maybe that just is all the stuff that I have in my closet, and I really have to go and clean it out.
No, I think that it is your catalog. I'm pretty sure.
Well, that's good, because I was like, oh man, no wonder I'm just about full in my closet right now. So it took me a while to scroll through things, but yeah, I just kept pulling out things. I don't know, was it the same challenge for all of you? So when I talked to Reese, she told me she really wanted like white and pink stuff in it to just look cute.
Yeah, that was the same for me.
Yeah.
Okay, because one thing I did play with was actually changing some of the designs for the Cyrus items, and I was like, oh man, there's some really cool ones in here that like you can customize. I guess the items are all wedding themed, you know, but you could customize them and they would look different than just like the base white versions that they had.
Right.
And I was like, oh, this gives me ideas for like a bunch of different, like a forest wedding scene, you know? So I'm excited to get to those where they change it up a little bit more later.
Yeah, and I assume that's what the next couple days themes will be. It's like changing the colors, I guess. We'll see. I'm excited.
Yeah, I think so. So what about you, Sergio? Did you like, I guess, what did you do when you played with the items?
Well, you know, I did look to see if there was a way to add more items. I must have missed it. I thought it was just only using the ones that he had available. I gotta look harder tomorrow.
Oh, yeah. You see, that's why I like spent a little bit like confused when I was trying to control things. But basically, like, you go into, you know, the decorating mode. Like, say you're inside your house, you press down on the D-pad or the bottom button on the Joy-Con, whichever controller you use. But essentially, like, it'd take you into the free customization scene, like the decor scene. And then from there, you could actually, like, flip through different pages to get to your catalog.
Yeah, I think you could use like the R and the L buttons to do
That's
that.
it. Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I
Tomorrow.
mean, I I yeah, and the thing is, like, do you all think we're gonna get like more items? Because what was there, like 5 or 6 items that we could use?
Right.
Yeah, they're already in the little app that I use to like keep track of my fish and stuff. And there was definitely more than just 5. So I have a feeling we're
Oh,
going to be
cool.
slowly unrolling them.
Okay, so it sounds like it's pretty worth checking in more throughout the month, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, this might be. I know we talked about our routines lately, but this might just be part of my routine from now on.
Yeah.
Yeah, at least for
Yeah.
June.
Yeah, at least for June. And it makes me, I kind of already hope that they do this for more characters because, I mean, wedding season's all right, but like once we get to the Halloween times and all the fun holidays, I think they could introduce so many cute things. And I imagine that might be how they're planning on introducing things like pumpkins that we can decorate with.
Yeah. Oh, they could do like a back to school
Ooh.
one too.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a lot of good possibilities. Like the back to school one would be really awesome because I really want to make like a little school that's inspired by Over the Garden Wall.
Aw.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
Cool.
I like I guess the new item that you get through the event. I think they're called heart crystals, was it?
Oh yeah, or heart stones
Yeah.
or something like that. I don't remember.
Yeah, and at first, Reese tells you that you got some, and then Cyrus says, "Oh, I'll trade you those for some furniture." And first of all, I didn't know how many I had, and I thought he would just take them all and give me maybe one piece of furniture. And I told him no, let me see what I have first. And then I went back to my island. I saw that I had 11, and I thought, well, I'm gonna keep at least one, and then I'll go back. But basically, if you talk to him and you say yes, you can decide what to buy. It's kind of like using currency in a way. The items that he offers require different amounts of hard crystals. So if you haven't done the event yet, you can say yes to him and see if you want to trade something or not.
Hmm.
Yeah, and you could basically choose like from those items that you got to use and everything. I imagine that list will grow as we unlock more.
Right.
But we also got like a free item at the end when we were done. Did you both get like what is it, the wedding seat or whatever, the kind of pew that they had?
Yeah, I got that one too.
Yeah, and I was really confused by it because I ordered I think 2 of the like hangy wreath things.
Yes, those are
Mm-hmm.
Um
nice.
and then in my like forgot that he was going to mail it to me, so I'll get them tomorrow. But then in my pocket was the little pew and I was like, "Wait a
Oh.
minute, something went wrong." But I guess it's just a little gift from them.
Yes. Hmm.
Yeah, yeah. So I also ordered a few things. I think I got 11 of those heart crystals as well. Did you get that, Nina?
Yeah, I think so.
I wonder if everybody gets the same amount because I was really
Hmm.
wondering. I guess if you'd get a different score depending on how well you did with
Right.
picking items.
I have a feeling that's what it'll be like. Maybe we're just all amazing wedding planners.
Yeah, that might have been just the max score that we could get.
Or we all got the lowest score.
That's true. That could be the possibility too, but I'm pretty sure it's just that we are all amazing wedding planners.
Yes.
And I'm also hoping that the next couple of days we also get a free item in the end, and hopefully it's random. So maybe we don't have to buy one of each on our. Maybe we'll get them as gifts as the days go by.
That would
Oh
be
yeah, that'd be
nice.
really cool.
And then we don't
Hmm.
end up having to use up all the heart crystals on like ordering duplicates.
Yeah, and I'm hoping if we save some extra of those, maybe we can craft something with them down the line.
Ooh. And they
Yeah.
just look cool. I have a couple extra dropped on my path right now, and they're
Yes,
so
yes.
pretty.
I had one question. Do you both know, like, is the heart crystals the only way that we're going to be able to get these items, or can we, like, order them once they're in our catalog?
Oh, should I try
Oh,
right now?
I mean, I guess it's worth checking,
Let
you
me
know?
see. I mean, I may or may not have my game just up and running like I always do, so I can check.
Yeah.
What was that thing called? It wasn't called a pew. It was
I think it was
called
Wedding Bench.
bench. Okay, maybe if I just put in wedding.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, like I'm wondering if that's the case. I kind
Ooh,
of doubt it, judging
not
by
for
like,
sale.
oh, it's not for
Aw.
sale.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I was doubting it just because there's clearly this currency that's going to be used to get these items, and it feels like it defeats the purpose of that currency if that's not how you obtain them, you know?
True,
Yeah.
true.
Mhm.
Yeah. So,
Interesting.
but yeah, no, overall, I think it's cool. I think I'm more excited to check back each day than I thought I would be.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm also just excited for the possibilities when it's like something other than wedding season. Like,
Yeah.
is this going to start becoming a monthly occurrence? You know, are we going to get something in July, August, September? Is it just going to happen like every once in a while? Who knows? But
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do hope that maybe it means we'll see some of these characters return too, though, because Reese and Cyrus, you're totally right, Nina. Just like hearing their music really brought me
Oh.
back to like you hear that song a lot in New Leaf because that's the main
Mhm.
shop that you go to for a lot of
Yes.
things. So
Yeah. Yeah,
yeah,
I think a lot of characters would be easily, pushed into that role. Like Lottie, of course, just like in Pocket Camp, would be perfect for it.
Oh yeah.
yeah, yeah. That's true, and we really haven't seen a return from a lot of those I guess happy home designer players or characters rather, like the Lyles, the Digbys,
Oh,
like
my Digby, yeah.
yeah, eventually though, hopefully they come back. But yeah, I guess overall, what are your thoughts, Sergio? You going back, or are you gonna do it again?
Oh yeah, for sure. At least to get one each of the items, hopefully for free. But if not, we'll have to use the heart crystals. Yeah, it was very well done, and I'll probably try different angles, and hopefully there's different themes for the wedding photos.
Yeah, hopefully that's true. And
Yeah, I'm
then what
hoping
about you,
that
Nina?
I'm hoping that we kind of get more themes than just like the three recolors, like the cute, the chic, and the green or whatever it was called. So it's not just the same three things, every 3 days, but
Mhm.
it's still more in depth than a lot of the events that we've had already. So I'm
True.
excited.
Mhm.
Yeah, yeah. For me, I'm excited too. I'm excited to check in and just see all the extra items because already there's some that I'm like, oh, some of these would be really nice gifts for maybe some of my villagers as I'm trying to finally befriend them. Sergio's way ahead of me in the game in that, so I'm playing catch up now.
Hmm.
Awesome. Cool. Well, I guess we'll hop back into the past for everyone and continue the show yesterday.
Yes.
But yeah, for now, let's start talking about some Animal Crossing guides that we got in the mail. Sergio, Nina, and I have all gotten the English version of the Animal Crossing guide, or the official companion guide, as it is known. But I went ahead and actually, I'm surprised, I don't know if you did, Sergio, because I imagine you would, but I don't know. But I went ahead and ordered 2 Japanese guides as well, which they're huge. They are like the U.S. companion or the English guide that has come out in both like Europe, U.S., all over the place. That one's like 400 pages or something. Both of these are over 1,000 pages. So
Oh.
it is completely insane how big they are. But I guess we can start by discussing kind of the English one. And I'll tell you right now, I have flipped through it maybe 3 times and not very thoroughly. I essentially found my little bookmarks that came with it and
Mhm.
have been using them in my Japanese guides as I look through those to give you some info on that. So,
Oh,
Nina and
nice.
Sergio, you're going to have to help a lot with the English version because I don't know much about it.
Yeah, and I've flipped through it a couple of times, but I mean, compared to the other English guides I've gotten, it's actually pretty big. So I was excited to receive it. So I'll help as much as I can.
Awesome. Yeah. And then Sergio, you got it as well, right?
Yes, and for me it was one of those things like you get it just to get in because it's Animal Crossing, and it was new. I had it pre-ordered way before we even got the game. So yeah, it's nice. I have it next to my Amiibo albums, and it's all like nicely put together. It's like my Animal Crossing little mini library, if you will. I did browse through it. I enjoyed the fact that it has the flower guide, and it's very, very comprehensive. And I had to look without looking at what shorts I could get, just to get an idea.
Yeah, I imagine your supply of shorts is going to increase pretty soon, right? Now that we're entering
Yeah,
summer.
yeah.
That'll be fun.
Yeah, the Able sisters are going to have all those new summer themed clothes. I can't wait.
Yeah, and ever since I like realized that there's going to be seasonal clothing and stuff that's available, I've just been like, all right, fall, come on. Bring me there. I guess on the side, I should mention that you just started a Southern Hemisphere island, Nina, with your leftover Switch that you never put up for sale.
I did. Yeah, partly through laziness and partly through like I didn't want to have to meet up with people in the middle of a pandemic. So I decided to add that Switch to my family plan, and I started playing on a new Southern Hemisphere island that I'm calling Fox Cove. So it'll be like where
Oh,
Red
Cool.
works and where my pirates get all their suspicious items.
that's awesome. I love that it's like you're not only doing a second island, but you're also like it's extending your original island with
Yeah.
it. Because
Yeah, I'm excited.
yeah, because I mean, for me, like I would probably just go a completely different route with the second island, but I like that yours is just like building off of what you've already got.
Yeah, and I think I'm gonna make it pretty fox themed and maybe do like a little fox flag to celebrate red.
Cool.
Yeah. So I did have a question for both of you before we talk a lot more about this English guide, but they came with bookmarks. I think each copy came with 2 bookmarks. I was wondering
Hmm.
which 2 bookmarks you both got.
So I got lucky and I got KK, which was nice.
Nice.
Oh,
Yes,
man.
I was so happy about that. And I also got Blathers.
Oh, that's a fun
That's a
one.
really
Yeah.
good one. I had
Yeah.
no idea these were coming with them. It was a total surprise for me.
Me neither. I think you mentioned it, and I was like, wait, it comes with bookmarks? And then I'd completely forgotten after hearing that. And
Well,
so when I was flipping through the book again, I was like, it comes with bookmarks.
yeah, I had texted on my little group chat with Tab that I had gotten it, and she was like, "Oh, which bookmarks did you get?" And I was like, I had the exact same reaction. I was like, "It comes with bookmarks." It was so exciting. I got KK also, and I got Timmy and
Nice.
Tommy, which I was so excited for because
Ooh.
Tommy is my Discord icon. He's been that way for a while.
Yeah, he's really cute. I think he won us over carrying that flag around and checking
Oh,
out Fuchsia because he fell in love.
he's so in love with Fuchsia. It's so cute.
Yeah, it's adorable. So yeah, I also got Blathers like Sergio, but then I also got Isabel. So yeah, just a
Oh.
little unique one there.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, but oh, it looks like Tab also got Isabel and Blathers. That's pretty fun.
Ooh.
But yeah, the bookmarks are really special. But yeah, Nina, I think you wrote a lot about the guide. Why don't you tell us about it?
Yeah, I kind of did some, favorite finds from flipping through and kind of things that I thought could have been a little better. But my favorite things were something that I wasn't expecting at all. Towards the back of the book, they add pictures of all of the bug and fish models that Flick will make you, either from Flick himself or through CJ. And that has helped me so much deciding which bugs and fish to give to those two because I can
Ah.
never decide. So, that's something that I would have thought that definitely the Japanese guide would have, but was pleasantly surprised that was in the American or the English guide too. Um,
Yeah. Yeah, that's a really cool thing, especially because like I feel like I ran into that same type of section in the Japanese guides, and what I was surprised to see was just like you could sell those models, and it's funny because like you can sell
Oh.
everything in the game, and I was like, oh, there's prices here of how much these sell for. I did not think that I'm just never gonna sell mine. So
Yeah, I wasn't thinking of that either. Well,
yeah, so it
plus,
was.
like, if you're selling 3 of those fish, I wonder if it's about the same as what you would get for 3 of those fish.
I want to say it did come out to that. Like it was just like whatever the fish price was times 3. So it wasn't like an incredible increase on whatever the price originally was.
Yeah. Well, that's good to know. I do wish, gosh, this is kind of off topic. I do wish that the fish models were wall mounted. I think they would look
Oh,
so
that'd be
cool
nice.
like that.
Yeah. I've got like a black bass, like a wall-mounted black bass, and I was like, "Oh, are these like the fish models that you can get from Flick?" And then I got a fish model from him, and I was like, "No,
No.
it's not."
I do like the bug models, though.
Oh yeah, I mean, I think overall they're still really cool. But some of these things are like, oh, what if we could like customize them to make them look like essentially different styles.
Yeah.
Kind of, I guess I think of it in the sense of like patterns. Like you design a pattern, and then you have the option to put it on the ground, put it on the wall, put it as a little portrait, make it a mannequin. Like there's a lot of options with how you display the patterns that you create. Like it'd be kind of cool to do like a customization job on the model, but at the same time though I also would feel bad because it's like this is Flick's work, this is his piece of art, and it feels a little bit wrong to modify that in some way.
Yeah.
You know what would be nice if for example, we give 3 models, 3 of the same bugger fish. If there was an option to give more, maybe up to 20, and you get a bug the size of the Godzilla statue.
Oh, that would be so cool.
That would be awesome. Like depending on how many fish you gave, it would make or bugs or anything.
Gosh.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do the praying mantis.
Huge.
I do the praying mantis right away.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Because you gotta have like Bugzilla going around eating everything.
That's what happened to all your trees.
Oh yeah, my trees are gone right now. It does not look like my island right now.
No. Oh, that's amazing. Let's see what else I've got. Okay, so also I liked getting to go through and see all the Nook miles and the titles that they give. So it was nice to know, like, if I was looking for a certain title, where it came from, or if I'm hoping for a certain title, how I can get it. That's been fun too.
Yeah, that is really cool.
They've gave this in-depth look at weather patterns that I thought were really interesting. So I'm excited about that, and I think I even tweeted it. I was so excited. It talks about the different types of clouds that we're gonna get in each season. It talks about your wind patterns, which change in the day and at night, which affects like not just your leaves, but also the balloons that float through. And then it talks about the different weather phenomenon that change for the season. So I just love the weather, and I've been hoping for a new type of weather. So it was really exciting to see what's coming up.
Yeah, seeing the pictures of fog in the books.
Yes, I can't wait.
I can't tell you how badly I want it to be foggy on my island. It barely ever rains. Like, it's raining right now, and I'm just like, I could be playing in the rain. And we're stuck in here recording a podcast.
Stuck in here.
Yeah, no, it's fun, though. I'm glad we can do this. But yeah, the weather patterns are awesome. I am really glad, because this is something Sergio and I, like, we've talked about this before, where we wanted the weather to be just like more in depth and everything. So it feels like this game is pulling it off,
Yeah, it's you get a lot of variety. I think the wind, especially, they really kind of like, I feel like they focus on that. It's so everything gets so affected by wind, and now you kind of want it to be windy.
Yeah, I seem
Yeah.
to have a lot of windy days on Keel Hall. And I don't know if that's just for my island or if a lot of people are realizing that or seeing that,
Mhm.
but
I
I
want
like
to.
it.
I also wanted to mention, like, speaking of wind, Jackie just noticed the other day that while it wasn't windy, her wind turbine wasn't moving, like it wasn't
Yes.
blowing at
Yeah.
all. And when it
Hmm.
was a windy day, it was moving and getting blown around.
Yeah.
So
That's
that
so cool.
they've really paid attention to the details and like how the items are kind of like affected by the weather and everything. Because even like
Hmm.
you go out in the rain and you notice like your clothes is it looks a little bit soggy, like it looks like
Yeah.
it's getting wet, you
Yes.
know.
Yeah.
Hmm.
So yeah, I just want more rainy days. I feel like I see Jackie log into her island, it's raining, it's doing all the good stuff, and I log into mine, I'm like, sunny again.
Oh, well, if it helps, I think we might have a rainy season coming up in June or July, so hopefully you'll see a lot more.
That's excellent.
Hmm.
I need that for sure.
So that'll be fun. Oh, also that I thought was really interesting was it has like a little TV guide schedule in the back of the
Oh
book,
wow.
Oh,
which changes by the day, which I thought was really different. So it's not just by time; it's by time and day now. So they've really put a lot of thought into what's on your TV.
I was literally thinking of like, okay, so I have some TVs now. I think I just want to check in every hour and see what's playing and see what's on and see what the
Hmm.
schedule is throughout the week, you know? But I'm really happy to know that, like, because I was just going to do that for a day, like, I don't know, a Wednesday or something, just watch the TV on Animal Crossing every hour to see what's playing.
Yeah.
But now I'm just like, oh, I want to look at all the days. And I don't think I'd necessarily want to look at the guide for that. Like, I just kind of want to experience it, you know?
Yeah,
Mhm.
absolutely. And it looks like Saturday and Sundays have like their own specific programming, which is cool. And then, of course, you can always check the weather at certain times, which
Yeah,
is
you got to get
All
the
right.
Saturday morning cartoons for sure.
Oh, yeah.
I like that you mentioned the weather too, because I did happen to like plug it in while the weather was showing, and so I saw that it was going to be a sunny day one day, and I was like, well, what's the point of playing tomorrow then?
Oh,
um, yeah, but it is really cool that the weather that shows up on the TV is actually going to be your weather in game.
yeah. And it seems like if you're seeing the weather before noon, then it's today's weather. And if you're seeing the weather afternoon, then it's tomorrow's weather.
Yeah,
That's cool.
that is really cool.
um,
uh,
just a couple of things that we're missing, unless you guys want to add your favorite finds.
well, I mean, I feel like both of you can handle this. Sergio, did you find anything?
Yeah.
And I guess the biggest find in what I was looking for initially was the flower guide. I had one that I
Mm.
found on our Discord thanks to our members. It kind of covers everything that I needed, and then I looked at the book and it's a lot more, and I noped right out of it. It
It's
looked
too much.
too crazy.
Yeah,
It
yeah, that
is
is a
in
good find.
depth. Hmm.
Because it's something that I haven't messed with at all in my game yet. And I am getting closer to that point where I do because I'm about to start like working on a big farm on my island.
Mm.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, they I don't know who programmed these flowers, but they're a genius. It's pretty
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah, it would be really cool. Or it is really cool.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think you also listed some things that you necessarily found flaws in for the book.
Yeah, it was interesting to me that it didn't have any museum info, which I understand was a update we got after it had been created, but that kind of just tells me that these book publishers weren't in on the updates we were going to be getting. So,
Right.
yeah, that's just strange to me that this whole art section and stuff is kind of left out.
Yeah, and I think what's tough with that too is like books can only get printed so quickly, you know? Like
Right.
these were already like very delayed with the global situation at the moment, you know? So it's funny to see it come out as late as it did because by then we had several updates that just weren't going to be taken into account in the book. And you know,
Mm-hmm.
like there's still several updates ahead of us that aren't going to show up in these books at all either. So it'd be
Yeah.
really nice to see kind of like a I guess complete edition of the guide at the end of this
Right.
game cycle, you know?
Ooh, that would be really cool.
Yeah, it'd be the Japanese ones would definitely hit like 3,000 pages at that point.
They'd have like different editions, and you'd have to have like book 2 of 3.
Yeah, exactly.
Amazing. Now you'll have to let us know what your Japanese guide has, but in the English guide, it also only has the villagers and their house interiors. I really would have loved if it had the exteriors as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, mine the Japanese ones, both of them have the interiors, but
Hmm.
neither have the exteriors.
Oh.
It's a bummer, especially considering like there's so many pages in these books. It's crazy, you know.
Yeah, that's too bad.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, but luckily that there is that one online that shows all the exteriors. So I can just look that up. Gosh, was that Animal Crossing World who published that? It's
Um
super helpful.
yeah, I want to say it is. And yeah, that's one of those things that is very helpful for people like me who I kind of care like what the villager exteriors look like.
Yeah.
Yeah,
uh
absolutely.
like when they just fall into a nice little theme, it's fun. It's fun to
Mhm.
have them match like what you're going for on your island and everything. And it's funny because I did get a guide at the very end of New Leaf Cycle that was literally just all of the Welcome Amiibo update stuff. And the most helpful section was it had essentially a section where it showed the Welcome Amiibo cards, the 50 new characters that were added. Plus, there were actually more than 50 because there were a bunch of other amiibo that worked, like the Zelda, Splatoon, just some different characters that appeared in the game. But there was one section of that guide that showed all of the home exteriors, which was pretty nifty, as well as like what was inside of their campers. So
Yeah.
I'm surprised that that didn't happen for these guides.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, the last thing that I noticed was it has a really cute section where you can make, or they help you kind of make designs from the Able sisters, but the
Oh.
designs that they give don't take the smoothing effect into account. So, like, they show you how to make a plaid, but then it doesn't talk at all about how your corners will be rounded and stuff like that.
Yeah, that's pretty interesting, especially because like sometimes, and I've seen like this complaint from some people where it's like occasionally that smoothing just backfires on the design,
Hmm.
like it just doesn't quite work as well as you would, you know.
Yeah,
Um, so
it
yeah,
can be really tricky.
yeah, and I feel like that's also like kind of hard to capture in words though too, where it's like you'd
Yeah.
really have to focus on like having the images to show this is what's going to happen if you align these pixels like this, you know.
Mhm. Mhm. Yeah,
But
I
still
had
it
a
would be
bunch of
nifty.
yeah. I had a bunch of like kind of tricks that I would use in New Leaf, and I've really had to do workarounds now in my designs for New Horizons.
Mm.
Yeah. Yeah, that's pretty good. It's cool. It's cool to see that like there are a lot of things in these guides. I guess should I go over like what's in these Japanese ones that I have?
Yeah, please.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I guess basically, like, I ordered these a long time ago. I want to say like either March or April, but it was a while ago, essentially. And I honestly didn't expect it to come as soon as it did. I was expecting them to come essentially like end of June, early July. That was kind of the estimate that was given on
Mm.
PlayAsia. That's where I ordered from. Um, but yeah, they came really quickly. I actually got them before I got my English guide, funny enough.
Oh.
The English guide I ordered from Best Buy, and it took a bit longer to get that. I think the people who ordered them from Amazon came a lot sooner. But
Right.
yeah, I mean, eventually I did get them all, so I have them here. And they actually came like one day after each other. Well, the two Japanese ones, they came on the same day. The English one came the next day. So they just barely beat them.
Oh, nice.
So yeah, both of these books are over 1,000 pages. The Nintendo Dream book is 1,215 pages, and then the Kadokawa book is 1,071 pages. So both of them well above 1,000 pages.
Wow.
But the Nintendo Dream book, that's the larger of the two. This one, and I guess I do want to mention too, they both have like this sleeve on them. They match each other essentially because they both use the base cover art for New Horizons. Like if you have
yes.
the physical copy of the book, you're gonna see that artwork appear here. And then if you take off those sleeves, they have different designs. The smaller one from Kadokawa, I actually think is a little bit cuter. It's got this like little pastelish green color with a bunch of little faces from characters on the front and the back of it. The larger Nintendo Dream book is kind of all white with the new leaf pattern on it. But I guess the one cool thing about the Nintendo Dream book is that it has these really great tabs for every section. And those tabs, they actually follow throughout the entirety of the book. So it does have tabs on the front cover, and those same tabs will appear on every single page up until the end, and it'll actually like highlight which tab you're in. So as you look at the side of the book, you'll know like which section of the book you're in there, which is really cool. But yeah, each section essentially discusses like, the beginning is all kind of like playthrough stuff of those first 2 weeks where you're trying to get everything unlocked, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And then the stuff beyond that is like everything you can collect, essentially. This is like DIYs, bugs, fish, everything. Literally everything in the game. And one of the cool things about that is that it has little checkboxes next to all of that. So like as you're following through, you can, just check it off if you have it, or, I don't know if I'm going to actually write in them, but it would be pretty fun for judging by like how it's like set up and everything.
Yeah.
And then the back of the book has this really huge master checklist of everything. It has over 70 pages of checklist of just like every single thing. But the one thing about it is that it's all in Japanese at that point. Like there's no pictures. It's all just characters that I can't read. So just in case you all know, like I can't read any of these books. I can make out some of the characters. Like I know basic hiragana, but beyond that, I don't know what it says. Like I could tell you how it sounds, but I wouldn't be able to tell you what that word is. But so at the end, there's just like this big catalog of things that you can check off, and it's very nice if you know the language. But for me, it's not going to be too useful. But the one kind of fun thing about this book is that it does include one of the updates post-release. So it includes the 1.1.0 update at the very back. And I want to say this is the update that happened pretty much at launch when we turned it on. And so that added like the multiplayer stuff, a bunch of like the Pocket Camp items and things. So you can actually flip to the back and see what the Pocket Camp items are.
Nice.
Yeah.
They sound very similar to the ones from New Leaf.
Yeah, and I think they are. I think Nintendo Dream tends to be a company that always puts out like a big guide for Animal Crossing, so it's probably going to be very similar to that. The Kadokawa one has some differences. Like one thing that's different here on that one is that it also has tabs, but the tabs aren't as cleanly laid out, and they don't go like the Nintendo Dream one, like you're gonna see the same tabs throughout the entirety of the book. The Kadokawa one, it has different tabs for different sections. But the one advantage that has is once you get to the back portion of the book, it's all focused on like the catalog and everything. So everything is very cleanly laid out on those tabs according to like how you would see it in game, where it's like furniture items, everything, clothes, like all of those little icons that exist within the game are the same ones that show up in the tabs of this book. So I do like that a lot. But yeah, it's not as big. The master checklist at the end isn't as big. I mean, it's hard to match 70 pages of stuff. But yeah, they're both really similar books. Like they have a lot of the same things going on, just kind of like differences in how that information is aligned and oriented.
That's awesome to know. Yeah, you went so in depth with that. Thank you. Because not everybody can get their hands on those Japanese ones.
Yeah, and I wanted it to do that just because like I don't speak Japanese, so for me it's just like it's a picture book essentially.
Yeah.
And as far as like the pictures go, one thing I really do appreciate about both books is that each of them has really clean layouts for all of the items you can collect, and they all include like the variations of those. So if that's what so if that's what you're looking for, like a really nice place to look at all of the different variations of items, like I don't know if both books do this. I'll have to check in with you next week on that, but I want to say one of them even includes like how you can customize each piece of furniture too.
Oh, wow.
So yeah, there are a lot of variations that you can see just in this book. So it's a really cool thing. Like it's an easy picture book for me to look at. But yeah, as of right now, I'd say I kind of prefer the larger Nintendo Dream book, mostly because it is so many pages. I think they took the time to really size things more generously. Like the images that pop up are a little bit larger in the book. And so I know for you, Sergio, like your vision's not the best, so that's probably very helpful.
Yeah, that's a big plus, yes.
Yeah, so as far as that, like the accessibility is a little bit better there, but they're both crammed to the brim with information. And I wish I could read some of them because sometimes they'll like post these little charts and things about stuff. I think I took a picture of one for you, Nina, where it was like a chart of how mushrooms spawn based on the how many stars your island is.
Ooh, I like that. Yeah, I remember that now.
Yeah, so it's got some really cool info in there that I can't read.
Yeah.
But every once in a while, it's clear enough where I'm like, oh, numbers and percentages, that's a universal language right there. I can read that. And it has a little icon of this mushroom, shows up this percent of the time. I know what that's saying.
Well, and maybe it'll kind of inspire you to start learning more Japanese, because I know that's one of your future goals.
I'm so inspired. I want to learn it so bad.
That's exciting.
Yeah, and I mean, basically, like, the one thing that I was disappointed in was that neither of them have the villager home exteriors. That said, there is one little section that I found on a random page that does show you a few of the villagers and their exteriors. I can't read it, but I assume that it's an example of like how villagers' houses can be different, you know? And so it has basically all of the fundamental pieces to each home with some villagers next to their home as examples. So there's like, I want to say maybe 16 villagers that I can see the exteriors for, but outside of that, it's not comprehensive.
No, it's not enough.
Yeah, it's not enough. Yeah. Cool. So I guess, I mean, those are the guides. I do want to mention these were very expensive to ship out to me. I want to say for both books, they're relatively cheap. Both books in Japan are, I want to say, just over $20, and so the books themselves are cheap. Shipping them cost more than the books. themselves. So I think
Yeah.
I want to say it was like a $50 price tag to get both of the books to me. So I mean, like, it'd be such a good deal if that shipping price wasn't there.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But yeah, overall, like, if you can't read Japanese, there's a lot of info that's just not going to be too beneficial in the book for you. But if you're looking for something that has like all of the pictures of all the various items that you can get and how they can vary, just have the different styles and everything, then it's all in here. It's really nice.
Awesome.
Cool. Well, let's go ahead and get to the end of this show with Haken Islander Corner. For those of you who don't know, every single week we ask our patrons on Patreon a question. We're going to actually include some answers on YouTube here, so you'll be able to answer here live with us. But this week's question was, how have your island design goals changed since the beginning of the game? Are you going for something different than you initially intended? So we've got some answers here from our Patreon, supporters on Patreon. So we'll read those, but feel free to answer this question in the YouTube chat if you're here listening live. But I guess, Nina, do you want to start, and then maybe Sergio can read the next one, and I'll read the third.
Sure thing. So our first one is from Mitch on Switch, and they said, I initially wanted to make more of a modern city, but as I progressed, I wanted a more humble island. I tried to make it as natural as possible while making it a fully functional village. I truly wanted to stick to the roots of what we all love, Animal Crossing.
Oh, nice.
I agree with this one for sure. Were you going to say something, Sergio?
No, that's true. That makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, for me, I tend to go away from like the big developed cities and everything, and I'm more interested in just like the natural scenic areas in Animal Crossing, you know?
Mhm.
So yeah, I can agree with this.
Yeah, that's true. So Lucy said, my island goals change every single day, especially when I've been watching island tours and getting inspiration everywhere. Initially, I wanted a Ghibli themed island, but as more people showcase their amazing islands, and as I watch more and more movies in quarantine, I've used little pieces of creativity from what I see and made my island into my own big mixture of everything I like. This is very nice, and it reminds me of something that we discussed earlier. You know, sometimes you go to an island from somebody that hasn't really been playing that much. Maybe they just started, or maybe they haven't really done so much island decoration as other people, but you always get something out of it. You're always inspired by even little things that you hadn't thought about or that you hadn't seen. It's great to visit other islands because this happens.
Mm.
Yeah, there's truly like so much that you can just draw from each one, because like the terraforming, there's so many variations of how islands can be organized and changed
Yes.
around and everything. And so like even going to some of those islands that are very early in their gameplay, like you're right, Sergio, like you can draw inspiration from all of them.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the next answer is from Honey Oceans, and they said, definitely. Pocket Camp somewhat spoiled me. We had immediate access to hundreds of sparkly new items and a small space to decorate with, but New Horizons slow rolls everything out, and a lot of the items aren't specific to one theme. If I want to decorate my town with the garden lamps lining every path, I have to wait a day to receive a maximum of 5 at a time. I have to spend time gathering materials to craft and have to wait to slowly receive new recipes. And I love it this way. I've had to work with what I have. The limitations have caused me to get creative, and I think I love my island more than I would have if I had everything I wanted all at once.
Oh, for
And
sure.
yeah, this is an excellent way to look at it, just because like it is a slow game. Like Animal Crossing is a long con, as I like to call it, and where you can only do so much each day, and you have to take a little break and then wait till tomorrow to do it. Unless, of course, you just want to time travel, and that's fine too. You can get everything as fast as you want if you want to, but yeah, like for many other people, like I feel like for me, this type of schedule works because I'm like, all right, I work on a daily basis. I like having a game where I can just check in for a little while and be good, you know?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And I like that she talked about how, you become more creative almost when you're limited, which I've always enjoyed, especially like working with the kids that I do, that we give them challenges with just limited materials and they come up with the best kind of stuff. So it's a great idea.
Yeah, it for sure is.
So our last answer from Patreon is from Animal Crossing Chap. They say my experience has been different. In the run up to the game coming out, I was pretty careful to avoid making any concrete plans, as I didn't know what limitations or changes would be implemented over time, like the introduction of bushes a month in. I guess we still don't know what's to come.
Oh.
My process has been pretty organic and based on how I feel that day. Villagers' houses are inspiring at times, but I love suddenly seeing an area on the map in a different way and finding myself working on it for the first or even fourth time. I think my whole island has a really good flow because of this. Also, have an area I named the Wilds, which I've kept very natural looking, partly as I don't know what to do there, but also because it's quite nice to have a wild area I can get lost in. That's such a nice, thought out answer.
Yeah. There's definitely like a lot of really cool things to look at it, and I personally am partial for those wild areas too. I know
Mhm.
that's actually why this conversation started for this show, because Jackie and we'd talk a lot about like, oh, what we want to do with our islands, the things we want to do, and at the beginning of the game, like Jackie was very adamant toward keeping one of her spaces on her island like as natural as possible, like doing not too much to it and keeping it like basically how it was when she started. And she's, slowly shifted away from that and has more been into transforming her sections as she kind of like wants to now, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So it's funny that like this matches up with like the whole start of this conversation for us.
It works out nicely.
Yeah. Cool. So we actually do have some answers, some additional answers here from the
Mhm.
chat, but I'll read a few of them off since they're definitely shorter than the ones we read here.
Yeah.
But Dragon said, not really changed. I'm just going with what my island seems to want itself to to be, I guess. That's cute. Yeah, wants itself to be. I see he corrected himself a little bit there. Slade Woomy said, my island goals were to make a modern island, but I think I want a medieval island, but I'm trying to just have
Ooh.
fun. It's funny
Oh.
they mentioned that because Jackie actually turned her plaza area into a castle.
Yeah, I've
I
seen
haven't
people
gone and
doing this.
yeah, I haven't gone and visited her place in a little while, but it's got an updated video of that will be happening soon, as well as one for you,
Cool.
Sergio, because you have done a lot to your place as well.
Yeah.
So Caden said, as someone who has experienced the previous Animal Crossing games, I've noticed myself forgetting about terraforming. Also, I've had a lot of flat land. Later, I started going all out with levels. Yeah, that's one thing too, like, it's easy to like play that old school style where you couldn't really change your landscape at all. So
Mhm.
it's fun to start messing with it. And I'm doing the same right now. Like I'm completely going crazy, destroying all of my island and rebuilding from the ground up.
Yeah, I mean, when you said, "Oh, I'm moving my houses and the stores," I thought, oh, well, okay, he's probably leaving the trees or the decorations he has. No, you took everything out. It's like, wow, you that's crazy.
I
Yeah, no.
know. Arriving on your island was kind of creepy today.
I honestly, it's like pretty empty and barren right now, so I have some hard time telling where I am on my island. So, so yeah, I've got a lot of work ahead of me for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Emily said, I've redesigned my island 3 times now. I felt kind of pressured to make a perfect island in the beginning, but now I'm just doing a forest island that I'm loving.
Nice.
Yeah, that's a
Cool.
fun way to do it. Just, I think that's the fun of Animal Crossing. It should always be a work in progress.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Tab said, I started by following a picture of how I wanted my town laid out. As I've followed my drawn map, I make changes as I get inspired and run into challenges. That's really cool too. Like just having, a roadmap that isn't necessarily dictating all of your moves all the way,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's cute. Nathan Pratt said, my island design goals initially were pretty selfish, fishing, keeping things natural, and not trying very hard to terraform. Then my girlfriend started playing, and now my goals are what she's interested in doing, more terraforming, more urban. And it's more fun to play together than it is to have a basic natural island. Yeah, that's really cool too, like seeing other characters have some influence in like how your place comes to be, and other people just like having a stake in what the space looks like,
Yeah.
I know there's probably still a lot of people out there who don't really want to share that experience, but it's unique. It's a fun way to approach the game, essentially.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. I think, let me see. I think there was a couple more here. Lady Vesperia said, my island idea has changed a lot. I wanted to first make a natural country town, but now I'm currently making a cat town inspired by Kiki's delivery service and the cat returns.
Oh, cute.
Yeah, that's really cute. Awesome. Well, yeah, so many people have had some really great answers. Thank you so much for sending them in. And yeah, I guess let us know what you thought of this live kind of style that we did here. I know we made a little studio. I'm kind of moving the camera around as a bit so people can see how it goes. But
it's
yeah,
so cute.
Yeah, I hope you all enjoyed it. I had fun designing this room last night, and this is, funny enough, the first time I've logged in today, so this room used to be empty, and I'm really excited to see how my happy home score has increased since filling it in a little bit. So yeah, I'm excited to have this going, but like I said, if you're listening live, once again, we had an extra section in the podcast that will go over a lot of the wedding stuff that we have seen. Well, it's Sunday for us. We haven't been able to play it yet. So tomorrow we'll play it a little bit, talk about it in a little extra segment for everyone. So be sure to tune in then. For those of you who listened the normally scheduled time, I hope you at least got to enjoy a mostly normal podcast here. But yeah, you've already heard all the wedding stuff, and I hope we had some good things to say. We'll just find out tomorrow, I guess. But yeah, thank you all so much for tuning in to this episode of Haken, an Animal Crossing podcast. Don't want the episode to end? Well, you can keep the conversation going by Nintendo switching over to our Discord. Just follow the link in the description, and you can talk with other people who love Animal Crossing as much as you do, including Sergio, Nina, and me. Want to support the show in a bigger way and get your voice heard during the show? Visit patreon.com/ChewyPlaysNintendo. You can support our show with just $1, get special access to a secret room on Discord, join in on the Haken Islander Corner, and even read a monthly newsletter covering all things Haken and Chewy Plays. And I actually just put a newsletter up today, so you'll be able to see the artwork once again that we've revealed on this show. We really appreciate the support and put your money towards some great things on the show. Tuned in on YouTube, the comments are a great place to let us know your answers to the Haken Islander Corner. How has designing changed since New Horizons released? If you dig what you hear, please KK slide over to that review section on your platform of choice. Let people know what they're missing out on. Haken is a wild production brought to you by Chewy, Sergio, Nina, and all of our patrons. We thank you for listening, and we hope you have a great week.
Goodbye, everybody.
See you guys next time.